want to talk about is that all these capabilities, they are indigenous. That means the PLA today is self-sufficient in platforms, in capabilities, in weapon systems, and therefore it is in a position to do both a long war and a short war with continuous surge operations. And it will have minimal cyber threats. Cyber threats can never be ruled out, but they'll be minimal because everything is indigenous. The next point to remember is that unlike the Western countries that sell arms for money, for profit, PLA does not do that. PLA gives arms or sells arms for geopolitical reasons. For example, it will first prefer giving arms to the BRI nations. Why? Because it's a concept of indivisible security, an entirely different subject. For example, in South Asia, they have given enough arms to Bangladesh, which is on board BRI. The only exception they make is Pakistan. Because in all the other countries that they give the arm, they give a diluted version of the capability which they have in their inventory, not so with Pakistan. Because during Operation Sindoor, we saw that Pakistan Air Force used the Chinese PL-15 air-to-air missile, and everybody speculated that this would be the export version, which is PL-15E with a range of 145 kilometers. Turned out it was actually PL-15 with a range of 200 kilometers. And now we also know that PLA has two fifth generation aircraft, which is the J-35 and the J-20. They are just about J-35 getting inducted in their own inventory, but they have committed 40 aircraft to the Pakistan Air Force already, and the J-35, they have AI capabilities which can help close the OODA loop faster. So the point to make here is, and this is something that the Indian military should note, before Operation Sindoor, I had consistently said that the Chinese will support Pakistan military with what India will face is what is called a one front reinforced war after Operation Sindoor. Please remember, in my assessment, the Chinese will now build up the Pakistan military to be the leading military power in the region. My next point is that all these commentators, the Western commentators, they were talking about what was showcased at the parade, that this is specific for the Taiwan theater. The point is, there is no weapon system which is theater specific. A weapon system with modification can be used anywhere, and what needs to be remembered is that PLA has ensured that its capabilities or weapon system are for all the three physical domains, which is of air, land and sea. So this point needs to be kept in mind. Then the commentator, the official commentator which was giving out the commentary, said repeatedly that these are the capabilities for PLA's informatized and intelligence-sized war, the joint force, what they are working on, joint operation, Now you see, what we need to understand is, as far as the Indian military is concerned, this is specific for them, that unlike the joint force that the US military has, as far as PLA is concerned, they do integrated joint operations, but they do not believe in a joint force. They believe in mission sets, something which is very interesting, which is very flexible, and it's something that needs to be looked into. So the point to make is that for the informatized war, what the Chinese today have, the PLA has, are four services, which is PLA Army, PLA Air Force, PLA Navy, and PLA Rocket Force. And in April of 2024, it has raised 4 specialized arms. And these are Aerospace Force Arm, Cyberspace Force, Information Support Force, and Joint Logistics Support Force. Now, once we keep all these things in mind, let us now look at the parade and what was showcased. And instead of just talking about all the weapons in a random way, let us look at them from the point of view of PLA's informatized war and intelligence-sized war. Now, we know PLA's informatized war is about systems destruction warfare. That is what it is. Now, what that means is they will attack the communications of the US military. And the communication, the key to that are the software networks, which the Americans called battle networks and the PLA calls operational systems. So their first target will be the battle networks, then command and control systems, and then other valuable targets. The whole idea would be to cut the communications of the US military. That is what systems destruction warfare is about. So the three key capabilities for that which are required, we saw that the PLA is well up on them and they were demonstrated, and they are in non-kinetic. We are looking at, sorry, the non-kinetic, kinetic capabilities, and I have also included their integrated air and missile defense systems. Now, in non-kinetic, which is about space, electronic warfare, and cyber, we saw the contingent or the marching columns of the aerospace force, which is a reality, cyberspace force, information support force, and the joint logistic support force. So we saw those columns, we saw certain capabilities, but we do not know what exact capabilities are there in those platforms, the platforms that we saw.